Bardaseer, Nico, Aurora, quite standard bans so far.
Unfortunately, though, it's a very similar patch, which makes it a little bit more difficult.
Orianna Rice are pretty big ones to think about. Ambessa is a big one to think about. I would say you don't ban Orianna or Rice here and you just trade, and you perhaps ban one jungler, but then they can first pick the other. Maybe a Nara ban? No. Could get that as well. What about banning, like... Maybe a jungler, yeah. I'll ban one jungler here, maybe. Ban Jarvan or Wukong here, I think. Maybe Wukong ban here. I don't think we should ban a mid at least. Orianna or Rice ban is a mistake. Akali is fine. That's a fine ban. So it's Orianna Rice trade. It's Wukong Jarvan trade. It's Yunara. Low-key first pick Yunara, no? Low-key. Low-key Yunara, and then you get either mid or either support jungle anyway. First pick Orianna. But you understand what I mean? There's two mids, two junglers, and one AD. So in theory, you take the AD now. You take the priority AD, you get one mid anyway, you get one jungle anyway. Sion is priority as well, right now, with Ambessa ban.
Looked absolutely fantastic, so Masu going to be piloting that one most likely.
So that could be something too. Maybe one team goes mid jungle plus Sion, and one team goes mid jungle plus Yunara. Looks like Fly will be the team with Yunara, and VKS will be the team with Sion.
Yeah, it looks like Fly were considering maybe going for like the Kai'Sa Vi and go for this heavy dive composition. You can take the Galio then to follow up, and you've got this nice answer into the Orianna plus a ton of dive. But I think with the Yunara open, the Kai'Sa just gets very, very difficult to play in lane. So
I would take the Wukong here, I think.
And then inspired, I think
Wukong Rice
isn't the worst option here. Wukong works as well. But
I really like Wukong when you've already got the Yunara, right? Because she doesn't really.
I think Wukong is a better champ than Jarvan myself. I feel like Wukong just offers more than Jarvan does. Jarvan is nice to have, but I'm pretty sure Wukong is just a better champion. Now, there should be Jarvan or Sin plus Sion in my mind for VKS. And then Fly should do Rice on 3. Or Galio. I like Galio as well on 3 for Fly. If they can play that mid. Galio, Yunara, Wukong sounds pretty nice, no? Jarvan, Sion, and here comes the Galio on 3 maybe. It's Rice or Galio, but I quite like Galio actually with this team comp. It's not like you need more damage anyway, or more carries anyway, when you have Yunara, Wukong. Also, Galio allows you to play range support, which is nice with Yunara. Being able to play Lulu, for example. Because if you have Rice mid, you can't really play Lulu. But if you have Galio mid, you can play Lulu. Should be Sion here. Kai'Sa. That's fine. Could actually take Sion here. What do you think about Sion here? I don't like any. I don't like any. Don't like any. It's Galio or Rice then. Or just picking Sion. Galio better, Galio better. I like Galio. If you can play it mid.
So I'm curious exactly how VKS want to try and play this.
I don't like any.
But what's the rest of this composition going to round out as? Because obviously it needs
Alistar is fine, yeah. One of the stronger supports. And you have 2 bans as well. I would say though you shouldn't give Sion 4-5 if you're Fly, because most likely Fly here, last picking top right. So it doesn't feel great to leave the Sion open. I feel like you kind of have to ban Sion here and Rakan maybe. It's Rakan Sion ban, I think, for Fly. And for VKS, I will ban mid laners. I'll ban Galio 100%, and I'll probably ban Rice as well. Something like that. Something like that.
Yeah, that's true. This is Fearless best of
Poppy ban.
But it's still gone, right?
Yeah, it is gone. So they can't play.
Are they scared of Poppy support?
I'm really
not sure if people really play that anymore. I feel like Poppy is more so a jungler these days than a support. Or even a top laner. And they already have their jungler, so... Not sure about the Poppy ban myself. I'd probably skill check that and see if they actually play the support or not.
Because again, like, I feel like you want more dive on VKS, and Poppy isn't really that. She's anti.
It's Galio Rice ban. They banned Annie. I don't think Annie's a good champ though. Would much rather ban Galio Rice for VKS than Annie. I don't think Annie's a good champ. It's not useless, but it's not as strong as Galio or Rice, I think. What else did I say for Fly to ban? Sion and Rakan, right? That's what I said. Yeah, it feels bad to give Sion 4-5 blind here. Rakan ban makes sense, but now the Sion is open. Low-key taking Sion on 4 here, by the way. Low-key Sion 4 here for Bwipo, I think. However, actually, if you think about it, Bwipo is the guy that can probably have some kind of sketchy counter to Sion. Maybe specific to FlyQuest to last pick top here anyway, and play into the Sion anyway, and have some crazy pick. But most teams, I think, should either ban or pick Sion here. I don't think you should let that 4-5 blind for enemy Rise ban. So it should be Galio Sion priority, I guess.
So yeah, I'd probably go with the Galio here.
Something like that.
As you say, you can kind of wait and see what these next couple of rotations are going to be.
I like Galio here on 4. I think it's great. Your composition is great. It's a decent mid matchup. Definitely Galio here on 4, I think. Now with Rise band. Syndra. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But you have to be really good on that champ to make it work. LeBlanc I don't like as much. But I think Galio is the correct pick. Keep in mind they have Jarvan as well, full dive. I don't really like Victor. The positive part about Victor compared to Syndra is Victor is tanky from his items and Syndra is not. And you're playing against Jarvan Kai'Sa, plus probably a Sion here. So it feels better to be tanky mid, I think. It feels better to not be vulnerable to dive. And I think Victor fits that better than Syndra does. But Galio would be the correct pick, I think. Here comes the Sion blind. No one is surprised. And let's see what Bwipo has. Because giving this 4-5 blind makes no sense normally. Much rather ban that than Poppy. But since they left it open and since everyone should know that's coming, he must have a counter. He must have something really sketchy top lane here. This should be... I like Braum. I like Braum here. I don't like Rel. I don't like Nautilus. I think Braum would be best there.
Making sure that Masu is going to have the hardest time possible. And already there's a Jarvan, there's a Sion, and that's going to mean that navigating these team fights for FlyQuest is going to be a little awkward. But they do have a fair bit of damage already, especially if Bwipo locks in something that is capable.
I know Braum Kai'Sa is not optimal, but I definitely feel like it's still good here. Your composition is good, you have a good matchup, your Kai'Sa can 1v9 later. Is that a sketchy counter, the Mordekaiser? I feel like it's just better to ban the Sion though. Imagine you ban Sion instead of Poppy. Sure, they can go Poppy support instead of Nautilus. But at least then they don't have the best blind top, you know? Don't forget the ads. Nice shout. I will run them right now. Thank you for letting me know. See you in a little bit. Non-subs. And for those who are subbed, no ads for you. Yippee. Here we go.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it makes it very difficult for Mordius to try and play this one out. So I think it then becomes heavily reliant now on Miru getting off to an early lead, getting some early gold, and having these.
Thanks for reminding me.
Because otherwise, I think you just start getting picked apart in these.
Okay. Let's see it.
But I do like the fact that there is a lot of damage coming out from FlyQuest, and it's something that can take away some of the.
I mean, Mord is probably the best he has, right, as a counter. But I'm just wondering if it's better to play, like, let's say you ban Sion, right? What's the next blind in order? It could be Ornn, it could be Renekton, it could be Rumble. I just wonder if there's a better situation there than Sion, because Sion to me seems like one of the better tops on the patch. So I'm not sure if it's worth to try to counter that, you know, maybe it's worth to try to counter a lesser champ on the patch. Because I'm sure Bwipo has counter to pretty much everything. He's that guy, he plays all the weird champs, all the weird matchups. So I'm sure he could counter another champ as well. I'm just wondering if it's better to give them a weaker champ and counter that than giving them the strongest champ and counter that. Do you understand what I mean? You are giving them their best champ. Oh, let's see it.
Oh man, yesterday I was sitting at home watching, and I was just, every time I was like, oh, there's another game. There's just always another game. It was spectacular.
You do get to like game 5 and you're like, is it, do we have, how many do we have left?
I wouldn't be surprised if
like, 3 more to go?
I wouldn't be surprised if the Sanity carry top this game to relieve the Sion lane. Like probably Kai'Sa could lane into Mord, no problem, you know, while Sion and Nautilus lane Yunara and Alistar. It doesn't look like they're doing it, but I think that could have been an option this game. Just get the Sion out of this lane if it's really bad, or if he doesn't know how to play it. Kai'Sa definitely plays Mord easy. early game at least. Until level 6 easier, I think, at least. Can't really get hit by E, can't really get hit by Q. If Moore doesn't have ult, it's hard for him to play. I think definitely could have sent Kai'Sa top
I
here.
think the person I'm going to be keeping my eyes on this early game is Disamas. You're on the Jarvan. You know Wukong wants to scale to level 6. Like,
Not a big fan of the Victor, but I like it more than the Syndra. I think Galio was correct pick. Not a big fan of the Nautilus. I think Braum was better, but Nautilus still useful because he can throw ult at the very least, even though he can't really Q anyone. And the matchup is alright due to Alistar being weak. Otherwise, pretty expected everything, I guess. I think Galio was correct, Braum was correct, and that's about it, right? And Sion ban, I guess. I don't think you can start Q in this matchup on Nautilus. You need to start W here. Usually when you play Nautilus, the key is if you cannot all-in enemy, if you don't win an all-in, just preserve HP with W start. If you can trade and win the trade, or even send an all-in, always start Q. So here, starting Q for Nautilus makes no sense, because Yunara is stronger than Kai'Sa, and Alistar is really tanky and hard to kill. So you're never all-inning enemy, and you're never winning a trade. It's better to take W start on Nautilus, preserve the HP, just auto, W reset, go back trade, and that's it. In this matchup, I would start W on Nautilus, not Q.
So I'm just going to be the yes man for the majority of this cast. Then I'm going to go back and...
Don't do it. That's too much power. You give me too much power.
But in other matchups, like the one I just played in solo rank earlier, I start Q because I'm playing against Bard Mel, so I have an easy trade every time. One hook is good trade, no matter what. But here, one hook is not good trade no matter what. It can be bad. If I was Sion, I wouldn't trade. The reason why I wouldn't trade is because I know myself how it is to play weird champs. I used to play Cannon AD carry for a long time. What it does when you play weird champs is that you know the matchups pretty well, because you practice, in my case, Kennen versus X over and over. But the enemy doesn't know that well, because they don't get to play that much against Kennen. And in this case, for Bwipo, he plays all the weird matchups, right? So he knows his matchups pretty well. I'm sure he's played Mordekaiser into Sion in scrims as of late. But I'm also sure the other guy probably hasn't played that matchup as of late. He probably doesn't know how to play Sion into Mord that much. So what I would do if I was a Sion is not trade. Because I wouldn't want to risk both being low HP and not being sure if that's good or bad for me, what the correct timing is for me. I think when you play against weird champs, the best course of action is just to chill. Just chill, feel it out, don't risk anything. Because the other guy probably knows better than you what's going on. So it's better not to risk it, you know? Like here, probably Boopa knows exactly what's happening, and the other guy might not know exactly what's happening, because his experience in Sion versus Mord is limited compared to Bwipo's.
So I'm not surprised that we're going to end up waiting for that. Especially CC.
So I'd play much safer if I was him. I don't know if he's playing for grasp stacks or what he's doing, but it feels kind of sketchy to be this low in a matchup where Bwipo should know better. They have base advantage on AD carry here. BKS are in a lot of trouble, by the way. They're in a lot of trouble. Yunara's already based here. They might be able to fuck them up here. They're gonna get level 4 on Yunara soon, and then they're gonna play it. BKS bot lane in a lot of trouble here. They might need to TP bot with Sion, by the way, to relieve this. It might need to be a base here, exactly. They're in so much trouble. They might need to base here and run top, and Sion needs to base and TP bot. Because if they stay bot and they have item disadvantage, they're eventually gonna bleed too much. So I think the solution to this is Kai'Sa, Nautilus base, run top, Sion base, TP bot. That saves it. I think this will need to happen soon. I'm not sure how they ended up getting a base on Yunara, while the enemy didn't push out or base as well, but they're in a lot of trouble here. They need to swap right now. It needs to be right now. It's right now. Alright, they're doing the correct play at least. Not sure how it ended up happening like this, but they at least made the right play afterwards.
But I think in general, I just like the ability to have just the late game damage that comes out from both of the carries on Fly. And also, as you were saying, like, I think this game is going to be very difficult for Mortez to try and play. You have to try and get past Inspired on the Wukong, Whippo just pressing ore on you, and actually, Samus might
Have a
be
fight
involved
mid.
here.
Yeah, Busio going to be joining in as well as the animals come out of the jungle. That is
Did he
gonna
miss
be
the EQ or did he
fantastic
get some?
snare onto Samus, and down he goes. First blood over to the Western Goat.
Did he miss the EQ or did he get stunned?
He
He got stunned, right? He didn't miss it.
Lick their wounds, run away, but they lose their jungler.
Great interrupt from the flag and drag, and the pick by Fly, and again, Busio end up. Oh, hang on. Oh,
Might be dead here.
right. He should get to his tower.
He's all right. He gave us the thumbs up. That means he's all right.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know whether that's true though.
Look, sometimes you gotta fake the confidence and just hope for the best, you know.
Well, fake it till you make it is currently working. We'll see whether Whippo is going to make it frustrating, as you can see there.
Yeah, I think he got stunned as well.
Continuing to lay
Felt like he was in
above the
range.
queue. Mordecai's being very, very frustrating. Currently only up 3 farm though. So while, as long as he is just, you know, weathering the storm, he will be Scion. As this game goes on, it's not exactly a composition with a whole lot of threat towards tanks outside of if Yunara does get herself a little bit further ahead. But 3 items is probably when she can start cutting him down. So it does depend on the tempo of the game. As another double pulverize comes through here from Busio.
Trimby's dead.
Looking to try and get that stun onto Trimby. That's going to land, but Mortez
Actually,
doing a
Jarvan is
whole lot
coming.
of work here to
Can't
get
play it.
damage back onto the
Yunara
level
wins this,
5
but she can't actually play it.
The flash forward from Trimby.
Need to
I
back,
don't
need to
know
back,
about
need to
that
back,
one.
need to back.
Mortez gets the ulti just for the shield.
Too late.
Cataclysm, and they are so close to dead. Just stuck in
No
the
way they
pen,
survived
but it's
this.
not- They can't get the extra
They
bit of
survived
damage.
this.
The headbutt from Busio
Wow.
was so clutch in keeping them safe. Even then, I thought that maybe someone could step up and get an auto attack, but now Inspired.
Oh no.
Eyes on Kaisa.
Kaiser's dead.
He's going to give them the Teemo thumbs up as Mortez is in so much trouble, and yeah,
Bye.
he is just going to
That's
be
so
dead.
sad. Wow.
And FlyQuest will punish. Oh man, but it was so close to 2 kills.
I mean, even the
Yunara
Q
always
here
wins
from
that
the
2v2,
Jarvan
but it
had
wasn't
to
2v2,
equal
right?
Busio on the way out, but it's just not enough damage, and that's heartbreaking for VKS.
Yeah, that's so
It
sad.
absolutely is. Only 1 extra kill.
It was a nice bait into Jarvan ult, but I guess they played it as good as they could have and headbutted the Jarvan out of his own Jarvan ult. And if he breaks the Jarvan ult, they run, and if he doesn't break it, no one can get in. I'm not sure how to play that better from VKS perspective. It felt like they played as good as they could, and kind of same for Fly, I guess.
Was that the macro game was just a step ahead, right? And so
Sorry.
when VKS were in these scrappy moments, they were able to find some angles. It was after that things were a problem. If they're a problem now, it's really bad.
And it was Busio who picked up the finals MVP in that series as well, and again, he was involved in play number 1, kept that play safe on the top side as we get the replay here of it. And it gives enough time for Inspired to come along and finish off the kill, because I thought this was going to be a little bit risky.
I don't think I'd Q like that with Nautilus. Would be nicer to have Q up, you know? I guess you got a second one anyway. Like here, the Jarvan can't do much, right? Because if he breaks the ult, they run, and if he doesn't break the ult, no one can get inside. So I'm not sure how to play that any better.
Just barely able to survive.
Yeah, that was our reaction too, as it turns out.
Felt like both teams played it pretty well, all things considered.
Going to be toying with them here just
I just wonder if it's worth to hold the Nautilus Q, because
gonna come on down there as Whippo will be stunned
Trimby
up.
Q'd when Alistar comboed,
Basically the same
but it doesn't
ability
actually cancel the combo, right? So it feels like he just wastes his Q. Maybe it's better to let Alistar combo, out to him, E him, and then Q when he tries to leave.
There are differences.
I feel like that would be
They are
better, you know?
Very similar shapes, and it's kind of funny.
Instead of Qing early,
All right, Whippo once
and then he
again
gets the combo off
continuing
anyway,
to shove
and then you don't have Q when he tries to leave. Yeah, maybe better to wait with Q for Nautilus. Just let Alistar combo, out to him, E, slowly Q him, like this. Maybe better.
This wave from before was actually just fighting Whippo, so a little bit further behind after this wave is going to be eradicated as well, as we do have an anchor connecting.
For example, here you Q the Alistar, but then you ult Yunara, so you don't have Q to follow.
Once again, Cataclysm, but immediately
That's a
dashes
misplay
out
by
of the
Nautilus.
way. The Arc of Ruin going to be doing a fair bit of work there.
That's a misplay by
Unbreakable
Nautilus.
This time is available. Busio uses it.
Trimby needs to ult into Q or Q into ult. He can't Q one guy and ult the other guy. He needs to be comboed, you know? It needs to be ult Yunara into Q Yunara or Q Yunara into ult Yunara. It can't be Q Alistar into ult Yunara, because then when he ults the Yunara, there is no follow-up. He needs to have the Q up for comboing with ult, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a
Those
shame
need to
here.
go together.
And it's another attempted gank from Desamas, not quite working out. Still, I mean, 1.7k, nothing to write home about, nothing to worry about. as we do get some vision down. Does get information that Inspired has just gone back home. So a little bit of 2v2 time possible. They do head back up there, but it looks like they have different ideas. Morteus and Trimby moving now towards that bottom side.
Yeah, but FlyQuest are still keeping on a roll when it comes to objectives. Already got the 3 Void Grubs, now moving over towards the Dragon as well. Although double questioning themselves as to whether they want to fully commit, as Whipple's only just got back into lane, and Boal might get the interrupt here.
Oh, just barely. As Masu is able to skate his way back. We haven't spoken too much about the mid lane, mainly because it's Orianna versus Victor. Notorious for being one of the least
Heard it, we don't have flash.
of all
We are
time.
completely
This one is a
alone in
Trimby.
river without
There's
flash.
Pizza Warfare going on over to Quad, and
That's not
oh
good.
dear,
Why
just
were we there?
caught boarding. An unfortunate outcome for a support, but one that is sometimes
That is
unavoidable.
not good.
Yeah, it means Fly now will be able to get that Dragon. They've also can shift you
Trimby's having a rough
down to
one.
that bottom side and look to put a bit of pressure down, especially if they can keep Disamus out of this bottom side, which looks like they just bottom. They might be able to look for a dive onto.
I don't think his pick is good anyway,
onto,
but
sorry, Cortez.
he's made some
Yeah,
mistakes
they can see Booster
as well.
wrapping around. Another minion wave is going to crash in mid, opening things up for Quad, but he is just going to go for a little bit of a reset. But I mean, it's just VKS kind of bleeding gold at this point, and objectives at the same time. Whippo, it's that passive procced, and over again, things are looking more and more difficult. Riftmaker is now completed for the Mordekaiser, making him so sticky in this lane. It's a decent fully charged Q to come through from Boal. If he does get the combo, he can be scary, but the problem is the answering buttons are doing work here from Whippo. And as you can see, sort of healing all the way. Oh, we do have the
Has
ulti
ult, huh?
connecting, but puts him into the death
Yeah.
realm. And Disamus, they both
Sion is just dead
disappeared.
here.
Oh no, the
Oh,
Q is
we
going to
missed the
miss.
Q.
Let's see whether Boal does have the fancy
Maybe not
beat
that
as
now.
he gets the shield. Cataclysm! Slam dunk onto
Well played
Whippo,
by
and
Sion, I
BKS are
guess.
on the board.
The
But I think
best
Whipple can play that
movement
better,
I've
no?
ever seen as he's able to
I feel like he should be able to
down
outplay that.
Circle on that one made no sense.
insane, absolutely insane. And it's Whipple ends up falling, now giving you a little bit of time alone with this topside turret. You're able to get a reset in, and VKS getting something on the board.
Well, let's see whether they can follow that up with some more success here, as on the bottom side of the map, it is just plates being taken. Slurkle will connect as Anchor just barely not finding the mark, as Morteus just wanted to get out of here by the looks of things. See whether it is going to be Kraken Slayer done. Let's have a look at this replay.
We can outplay
one more
this,
time,
no?
though, as it was almost
Like if he
just
doesn't waste E
1v1
there
that Whipple
on
was
Mord,
able to
and he has E and Q up right now, he just comboed the two, it's free, no?
And then this Q
He just
got
wasted
connected
E
as well,
on
gets the
Sion
sidestep.
ult, and then he missed the Q here. He has that, no? If he plays
And the
plays
calculator
EQ
brings the
together.
hurricane onto Whipple.
Yep, getting the Soul Furnace at
I feel like he
just
has
the right
that.
time to make sure the Boal was never going to die, allowing Disamus
If he
to
just
get
plays
up
it a little
there.
bit
So
better.
Really nicely played. Still 2.2k gold lead, not exactly.
That should be outplayable, or at
too worried
least
about, but step in the right direction
it
here
should be able to
from
be played better,
BKS.
that
They
one.
have a very playable composition, right? Like it does the front.
It's probably still 1-for-1 in the end, but at least that would feel fine.
If they want Morteus to be able to pop off, but their follow-up, right, the cleanup in these fights, is going to be something that they'll
Why
be
support
very
Rush
capable of.
Redemption now? Because it's just guaranteed value. I should have started doing it earlier. I started doing it last week or whatever. It's just guaranteed value. I think Locket is not a bad item, but Redemption is just a better item. The stats are not as good, but the active is better, if you understand. Because Locket value is not guaranteed. It's a shield that decays instantly with Locket, so unless you time it perfectly, most of the time you waste about half of it, let's say. I don't know exactly how much you waste, but you waste a part of the Locket every time you use it, because the shield is never fully used on all the allies. It's very rare everyone is able to use the entire shield, or that you can time it perfectly, so some of it is just going to decay and disappear. But with Redemption, it's guaranteed value, right? You cannot really fuck it up, and it's also global range. Locket is melee range. Ish. Like auto-attack range-ish. Very low range, at least, compared to Redemption, which is technically global range. So the active is just way better, I think. That's the key. Not necessarily about stats or build path or anything, because it feels really awkward to sit on this Forbidden Idol as a Alistar, for example, which gives you, what, mana regen and health plus shield power, and builds out of a Fairy Charm. It's so fucking bad for melee supports. But the active on the actual Redemption feels pretty good, and the yellow support item makes you tanky enough for it to be fine. I think without the yellow support item, it wouldn't really be possible, because then you're just too squishy, right? But that yellow support item, Celestial Blessing, makes you tanky enough for it to work.
It's an interesting one. Has sometimes worked, sometimes
I think without that it would be different. But the yellow one makes it possible.
Really wanted to start a fight.
What is Forbidden Idol? Forbidden Idol is a 600 gold fairy charm. The item that Alistar has in his second item slot is Forbidden Idol. Do you see it? It's like a pink rock or whatever it is with a green background. That item is completely useless for melee supports. The stats and the build path, everything feels shit. But it's what you gotta do if you wanna get redemption. Nice triple knock-up. And he doesn't even die. Nice setup by Busio. This should be a good fight, no? Should be a good fight. For Fly. Boom. Triple. Hey, yo, Penta! Give me the Penta, yo! Oh! Nah, it's fine. So it's best to rush redemption? That's my feeling, yeah. I should have started doing it earlier. I was pretty slow to change. But that's my feeling. That you just gotta get that item ASAP. If enemy has it and you don't have it, it's kinda sad. Of course, it depends on the champ you play. For example, Nami has Mandate as her most important item, and it's weird to not get that on Nami. But on other supports, which would normally buy Locket, or let's say Shirelia, you can definitely go Redemption first. I think Nami need to get Mandate. What else do we have? Bard? No, it's fine. Bard Redemption. Nico needs to get Proto Belt. Probably doesn't do Redemption on Nico. Depends on the champ, but I would say most of them can go Redemption first, yeah. Maybe not Nami, maybe not Nico. Since their first items are key.
Not only did they win this fight, they got that bot lane tower. You now have the Runaan's Hurricane complete on towards the Yunara. And Rift Herald's still up and available.
Alistar is just 3 times the champ of Nautilus. I'm not sure why we're playing Nautilus into Alistar. That's usually... If someone blinds Nautilus, let's say with Braum ban, usually the answer is Alistar. So he's self-counterpicked. Instead of going Braum, which would be much better matchup for him, and would allow Kai'Sa to only 9 this game. Nautilus offer nothing, I think. Nothing. It's a bad pick. It's just a bad pick.
As you can see, Dazamas will be able to start this. So no one actually did anything about the Rift Herald. Yeah. And so Shelly is now going to be getting the attention she deserves, and it will be...
Rather get Drake than Herald, so Fly winning out on this, because also enemy is using 5-man, so they're not farming bot while they're doing Herald. Look at bot situation.
That's probably why the Rift Herald was...
Drake better. Nautilus is caught again. Low key. Help! Need to flash the combo. Okay, we can buffer Q. We have to flash now. Have to flash. Or... Okay, we're flashing in. Nice play. I'm not sure if it's winning, but anyway, nice play. Maybe better to flash out, yeah. Still a nice play, I think. Like, I see why you go for that. Wasn't good though. Maybe better to flash out, yeah.
Punish them for going for that Herald.
Sorry.
Yeah, it looked like Masu maybe going down. VKS had a chance, but it wasn't even close. Fly show up out of the woodwork and absolutely rinse VKS in the fight.
Oh man, and Mira was actually doing a pretty decent job there towards the top side of the fight. The problem is, if he's spending time 1v1ing a Mordekaiser, he can't be an Orianna. He's supposed to be there hitting 4 people with a shockwave.
It is also a very defensive build. Like the Seraph's Embrace into the Roa is just like not really going to give you...
This is why I prefer Wukong over Jarvan. In a fight like this, like sure, the Jarvan does EQ, ult, and he kills one guy like pretty much guaranteed if you have no flash or whatever, no dash. But Wukong in like the extended fight just feels better. You understand what I mean? Like if you swap junglers here, I think VKS might win that. But because they are the team with Jarvan, and because enemy team is the one with Wukong, the Wukong team wins. You know what I mean? It just feels like Wukong offers more than Jarvan does. I feel like Wukong is a stronger champ than Jarvan is. Like Jarvan is good at what? Ult locking someone without a dash or flash. Early game with EQ, creative patting. But Wukong is like that 1v9 champ, you know? That champ that gets items and actually carries the game. Just feels like Wukong is a better champion to me when I watch.
The level that the game has gotten to, it's going to be kind of difficult to hit that at the same pace that you need to keep up with Fly.
All right, so looking pretty dire for VKS. But I've got a little bit of a but. It's a 25% but. You know, it's not a great one, but
Like, I get that they are traded because of both of them are strong champions, but I just wonder if it's better when everything is open, for example, in this case, right?
when there's another kind of
For VKS to first pick Wukong, and if enemy goes Orianna, you go Ryze or Galio,
that are thrown away at a neutral objective, it is the
and you give them the Jarvan. You see what I mean?
100%.
Like, if everything is open, every role can be traded, Orianna Ryze are open, all the AD carries are open, all the junglers are open, maybe you should take the strongest jungler. Take the Wukong. Play Galio into Orianna or Ryze into Orianna. You play Kai'Sa into... Like, imagine they just swapped jungler here. It was Wukong versus Jarvan on enemy team. It just looks better, doesn't it? Sion, Wukong, Orianna, Kai'Sa, Nautilus versus Mordekaiser, Jarvan, Victor, Yunara, Alistar. It just feels like the Wukong side is winning to me. Like, whoever has Wukong feels like the winning team to me. If everything else is traded, right? Of course, if there's like one mid OP versus no mid OP, or one AD OP versus no AD OP, maybe you prioritize that and you take the weaker jungler. But if everything is open, maybe Wukong is the key. Maybe.
No, your point was valid. As you see here. And that's not just me being a yes man.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yes man or no, it means a lot. As Circle comes on down, Masu is going to be put into the Cataclysm, but unfortunately, Desamas is a little bit alone, and Masu just gets a couple of autos to take
Feels
him out.
like desperation is on the cards for the Brazilian team here. We are just fucking going. It's so losing. Everybody run, no? Everybody run. We're gonna get captured. Yeah, he captured the Kai'Sa. He lost that though.
They do manage to
Wow.
get the kill on the Mordekaiser, but unfortunately it's still not looking fantastic. As
Bye-bye.
Sion not going to be able to get too much more done as inspired. Sneaks on in.
Alistar has ult, by the way. We can dive
Takes
this.
down
Flash
the
combo.
Kai'Sa. Decent little knock up
Flash
there
combo.
from
Don't even need to
Dreamy, but
flash.
The Cyclone is going to answer.
GG.
And the Cyclone is not looking good here for VKS as it's an ace picked up.
It's
by
full on
Quad.
desperation. It's just GG.
For the party that is FlyQuest in this game, managing to pick up so many kills and the Atacon tower and top side. And it's the perfect timing. Reset, spend your gold, and Baron's up in a minute and a half. But
Oh my
you
goodness.
see here, Quads, they go onto him, but a good flash over the wall, and this redemption gets so much value in this pit as well. But this is what we're saying. Fortes can't really get involved in this fight. Miru is the only one who can really get the DPS that he needs, and Bwipo even tries to get the ults. Doesn't quite manage it in the end. But still, nice flank from Inspired then afterwards. Hops over the wall, realizes where his target is, and
he
hasn't had to
no
bring the
buttons
ult
left, right?
Yeah.
Killer Instinct was down, the Flash was down, needed all of that to get out of the way of Whippo, and then, I mean, Inspired is just so big. And we keep replaying the same clip. I don't want to. I don't want to acknowledge that it could be him doing it 3 times.
It is him doing it 3 times.
Right now, though, FlyQuest.
Yeah, the really rough game, Trimby. I don't think he put himself in a good spot with his Nautilus into Alistar.
This is the hope of the West. FlyQuest
Should have just gone Brom, for sure.
at a lot of international events so far this year, and it's a tough task for VKS to take them down, even though they've had a whole lot more experience against this team.
I also think it would have helped if they did Sion 2-3 and AD carry 4-5. Because by picking Kai'Sa like that, 2-3, it's hard to play range supports into Alistar, which is normally a good thing. But if, let's say, you didn't pick AD carry and they did Alistar on 4, and you still had AD carry to pick, you could have done Seri Lulu, you know? You see what I mean? Picking AD carry and support together is usually a good idea, because then you can make something that makes sense together. In this case, they picked Kai'Sa before bans. So in the second rotation, enemy team knows they need a melee support. Kai'Sa doesn't really go well with ranged. So they don't have to worry about Lulu, they don't have to worry about Janna or anything like that. So they can just blind the Alistar, because they know Kai'Sa team will go for melee support. But imagine they did Orianna, Jarvan, Sion first 3, enemy does Wukong, Victor, Yunara, Alistar, then it's easy to just put a Seri Lulu there. Answer the Alistar with a ranged support that goes well with an AD carry of choice. Could do Aphelios Lulu, Jinx Lulu, Seri Lulu, many things possible if they just don't pick AD carry first 3 without support. But I do think in this case you had to go Brom. Nautilus was not an option.
you don't have that massive DPS on Miru yet, so at this point, I think you have Morthez in a decent position, right? He's matching 3 items that are coming across, even though he is 1k behind. This Kai'Sa can still do work. It's just the opportunities for it are few and far between.
Well, Busio is just wandering underneath the turret, gets a nice double pulverize here as they take out the turret in a blink of an eye. Hook is going to connect onto the cow, but he's tanking so much.
Best chance now. Just go. Just go. Go, go, go. It's best chance. Alistar and
able
ult.
to land some pot shots of their own. Staying pretty healthy, RVKS, but look at that Arcane Storm. It's doing so much work. Inspired goes in, hasn't even pressed the R button yet as they're being so patient in this fight. Deathgrip going to connect
I have to go there, I think.
but he is able to walk it off. VKS are left alive for the moment, but it looks like a little bit of a return to the Baron here for FlyQuest, and face-checking this one's going to be so rough here for VKS. They do have some cheeky...
I think when Alistar combos like that and ults and fails, just gotta go, you know? Just fucking gotta go. It's not gonna get better than that. The situation will not get any better. Like, this situation is way worse than the one before. They're gonna die now. Look at the Wukong ult here.
Oh, the Cyclone angle could be absolutely terrifying, but instead, Inspired just gonna hold on.
They're in so much trouble here. They should have gone before.
Flyers playing with their food right now. They know that they already have that.
And Mordekaiser can capture Jarvan as well, you know? I think he captured Sion. Yeah, it looks like he has Sion. Sion no flash. Not is dead, Sion dead. Jarvan is gonna die. It's just GG here. Has Sonya this Victor, he can play it.
But he's not going to be able to do anything on his own as Quad picks up the kill onto his opposite number, and Montez goes down as well. A beautifully executed series of plays by Fly. They never overextended, not even once.
The patience was so good from Fly. Like,
it was almost frustrating.
It was. After the Cataclysm was used just to try and contain them in the mid lane, to stop them being able to poke. Fly knew that they already had that fight in the bag. Moved back towards Baron, they bait BTS.
I feel like Riot has to fix this like tanky mid thing, no? This Victor is so OP. Is it just me? Mid laner is having like 3k plus HP feels wrong to me. They tried to fix it, didn't they? They tried to nerf the rod whatever thing, but seems like everyone's doing it still. I wonder if it's healthier for the game if they try to remove that. Look at the Victor's HP. If you see the HP bar, Mordekaiser has about 3.3k HP, more than the Jarvan, but that's fine, you know. Mordekaiser is supposed to be kind of tanky. That makes sense. But when you see the Victor coming with 3.3k HP as well, or even more, it just doesn't seem right to me. Look at the Victor HP bar. You see the Victor HP bar has 3.2k HP, this Victor. Just doesn't seem right. Look at the Victor. He has 3.2k HP. Doesn't even take damage. Okay, he died. Okay, he didn't die. Maybe healthier for the game if that's not there.
Miro has the TP back as he was getting chased down by Masu.
Literally more tanky than Alistar, the Victor, by the way.
VKS and Fly just continue to take over in their topside jungle.
Yep, Inner turret is now going to fall down on the top side of the map as VKS are continuing to reel. It's 13,000 gold. That's a lot of gold.
And there's still more to take before
if G2 wins Civil War, my pick'ems are still intact. Same, I think. I had Fly and G2 making it through, so I kind of need both of them to win. And if both of them are in 0-2 bracket, I guess that's impossible pretty much. So I need both of them to be in 1-1 bracket, for sure. I think they will be. I think they will be. High chance G2 win today, I would say.
For VKS.
That's a 3.5k HP Victor.
Bottom side of the map as well, and I mean, it just feels almost impossible as Death Ray not quite going to land. Flag and drag to get to Thomas back towards his fountain, fill up that health bar once again.
Victor has more HP than Wukong.
Might have one more fight in them.
It's not right, no?
Ready to leave the station, and he will do it now. Shockwave going to connect onto only one as Boostio gets into the backline, finds the triple knockup. This guy's Alistar has been absolutely unreal as a double to start the fight for Inspired. Quad's legendary, absolutely in this game. And Inspired is between 2 Nexus turrets, picking up a triple kill. Whilst Zombie Form is going to go down, and FlyQuest are going to dispatch the BKS in pretty comfortable fashion here in our first game of the day. Back in form, looking at 1-1 now in Swiss.
FlyQuest back to business as usual as they'll take down the Nexus.